when you're talking to a random man in Alberta, that could have gone one or two ways. You know, you could have spilt your coffee and you could have been like, oh, and he said, son, don't worry. It's just a coffee. God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. The conversation very, very quickly could have gone in that direction, and it's just I'm glad that it didn't.
No, he was I think he was a God-fearing Mormon. So, I guess they would have that same thought, wouldn't they? Actually, I don't know what the Mormons think on Adam and Steve.
What do the Mormons think? No one's asking the Mormons.
Yeah, they might be completely open with Adam and Steve.
We have no idea. We have no idea. No one's taken the time to ask the Mormons.
Ready to kick it?
Kick it!
Continuing tonight on Two Seas in a Pod. 96.7 on your...
Two C's in a pod, 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 because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.
Boom! We're back 2 weeks in, or we had a little shortened episode last week, so our current events seemed way off, and we missed all the big news that happened.
Don't blame us. Big news. The big news. My name's Cameron Osborne. I'm sitting here. That's Cam LeClaire. He's sitting over there. Episode 98.
Yes, sir.
Inching towards that hundo.
Getting close.
Yes. We missed the big news, of course, because one thing that this podcast is known for is staying current with the daily or sort of weekly worldwide events.
Yes, that's most of the things we talk about in our headliner Asinine section are just things I see on CNN, Fox, or CBC.
Honestly, because there's 3 news outlets in the world. There's CNN, there's Fox, and there's CBC.
And Global Kitchener.
And Global Kitchener and CHCH in the early 2000s. Those are the only news channels that actually exist ever, at all.
Do your parents watch CP24?
I don't know what my parents watch, so I couldn't tell you. However, as a Southern Ontario local, I believe that CP24 is truly the best journalism we have. It should be, and it is and should be on in every single dentist office, every single gym, every single anywhere where there's a television on and you need just something to be on the screen. CP24.
It does serve its purpose, yes.
Oh, it's now, the best.
I do find that when I'm up in the morning with my dad and he is going to stay at the house all day and work in the yard, him looking at the traffic report seems a little bit stupid to me.
Of course, but that's what you get on the 10s. The traffic report.
Traffic and weather.
Traffic and weather on the 10s to get on the 10s together.
It's the same repeating. It's like bombs going off in Syria again. And you're like, is this an old report? You're like, nope, same one.
Well, because, your dad might just be doing yard work all day, but he has to know about the QEW.
Just in case.
Oh, what if the 427 is blocked all the way to McCowan? Oh, no.
Anything but that. Anything but the McCowan block. Is that a road?
McCowan is a road.
Sounds like it. Sounds like a bad road. Sounds like where the hoodlums hang out.
No.
That's good.
That's Jane and Finch. That's where all the people get shot.
Have you ever seen a gun in Toronto?
You would see on CP24. I've never seen a gun. No, I've never seen a gun in the real world.
One time, my friend Park told me that he saw a group of guys that I think they were in some traffic dispute on a highway, and then they flashed their gun at him, and then he was yelling at them like, "What the fuck are you gonna do? Shoot me?" And I was like, maybe they will. I don't know. Is that the risk you want to take? But they did not shoot him, and it looks like they were just flexing, as they say.
Well, of course, every single year, you hit the new. Having the gun and pulling the trigger, those got to be that's got to be two separate things.
Yeah. I'm yet to see a gun. I'm yet to see a real. Not true. Yet to see a pistol. Seen rifles.
Yeah, but no one's walking around with a rifle. Like no one's pulling up to a traffic dispute with a buckshot.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
That would be a bit much because there seems to be this thing where it's like, because if you are a less than reputable character in a position where you want to brandish a firearm, for clout, for that kind of thing, you don't want to drive up. You're not driving up to Bass Pro Shop. You're not going to Vaughan Mills to legally obtain a deer hunter to then walk around the streets with it.
When I was working construction on a guy's property, which was, I don't think the property owner was home, two of the contractors there exchanged guns. So they exchanged money for guns. So one guy bought a rifle off another guy, and then I thought that was a little bit odd, but as a white man who lives in Kitchener, this thing happened. These kind of things happen when you live a little bit outside of Kitchener in more of a farm territory. He's like, I don't have to claim this as mine. I'm like, lovely. Good to know.
Well, if the government doesn't know, you don't have to tell them.
I guess. Yeah, I don't. He explained the rules to me on it, and I thought it was pretty confusing. But Andy Gleiss shouts out.
Wow, big shout out on the show.
Big shouts.
Yeah,
big
who
shouts
knows?
to Andy.
Who knows with the gun? Who knows with the gun?
One time with him, we were driving, and there was a turkey on the road, and then he slowed the car right down and sped it up maybe 3 meters before the turkey actually came. And I said, "Why'd you do that?" He says, "Because one time I did it at full speed and it broke my windshield." And then he explained to me that you can hit a turkey out of turkey season, and it's roadkill. You didn't hunt for it. So he was going to eat that turkey. So missed that job.
Okay, little words to the wise there. Do you want to eat a turkey not in hunting season? Just hit it with your car. Just hit it with your car.
But don't go full speed at it. If you go full speed at it, it'll hit your windshield. If you slow down, then speed it up, it'll hit your grill.
Just give it a little love tap.
These are redneck. This is the Redneck Podcast with redneck tips, everybody. Government don't need to know about guns.
Redneck tips. Redneck tip number 781. Do you want to save money between buying your sister and buying your girlfriend Christmas gifts? Just date your sister, so you only have to buy one gift.
Redneck tip 788.
Tips 788.
Can't afford car insurance. Tractors don't need it.
Yes. Redneck tip 182. To save on indoor plumbing, just shit in a box outside.
And that's the end of the segment.
That's the end of the segment.
Tips.
That's the end of the segment. Redneck tips. Stay tuned. Maybe next week we'll have some new redneck tips for you. That's incredible, Cameron.
I'm sure I could just assemble redneck tips that I've learned in the past.
Yeah, it's almost like just kind of like reverse just kind of deconstruct any Jeff Foxworthy joke, and that just sort of turns into a redneck tip.
I feel like it's just things I've learned. Redneck tip 68. Bring your dirt back to school. You better take out that spark plug.
Is that the equivalent of like removing the back tire on a bicycle?
Yeah, because if there's no, you leave your keys in there. They don't have a spark plug. They ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
they ain't going nowhere.
There you go.
You want redneck tip 112? Bring a spare plug with you. And then you're going somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. You should always have a spark plug with you, like it's in your back pocket or something.
Aaron Redneck tip 78. You can smoke weed in the driver's ed lounge. Welcome back. We're it's been like 2 weeks since I spoke to you.
I guess it would have been, because last week was kind of a show that we had done prior to, and now we're back. Back live.
You're telling the sausage. You're telling how the sausage is made.
A little inside baseball. We love playing inside baseball here on the podcast.
Inside baseball. Learned that term from House of Cards season 1. It was the Kate Mara. She said it. She was like, "That if I report that's just too much inside baseball." And I'm like, "What are we talking about? The Nationals? They're shit." DC jokes. Am I right? Yeah. Anyway, back from Vegas, and I got you a gift.
You got me something.
I got you a gift.
Do I get to see it now, or do I get to see it in a couple weeks?
You do. You get to see it now, and then you can definitely see it in a couple weeks. Does the and I'll prelim it with you, Cam? Does the term "born to be wired" ring a bell at all?
Born to be wired?
Wired, yes.
No, that doesn't ring a bell. I don't think. Of course,
No?
Born to be Wild, classic rock song. That's
You
all I
don't
know.
remember the event on August 9th, 1997?
August 9th, 1997.
August
So this
9th,
is
1997?
2 years before Woodstock 99.
Correct. In the Extreme Championship Wrestling ECW in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
The ECD Hardcore TV, which can be found in Blockbuster on the DVD 2002 Bloodsport Most Violent Matches of ECW. Not ringing a bell, Cam?
Who is it? It's going to be Raven Sabu or something?
Sabu versus Terry Funk. No, not ringing a bell.
No, I've seen Sabu and Terry Funk go a long time. Of course, Terry Funk, classic hardcore wrestler, one of Mick Foley's best friends. You probably recognize him covered with blood. Sabu would wear a Aladdin-style kind of hammer puffy pants thing. Also, another famous hardcore wrestler.
Do you remember the one where they were born to be wired, as there was in so much?
Was that the name of the pay-per-view?
I think that was the name of the fight, because there was so much real barbed wire in the cage.
Okay.
They were bloodied up so bad. There wasn't even a pinfall. Terry Funk's shoulders were never tapping the ground, but these guys were so banged up, someone had to call it. Cam, that's right. I got you the official Terry Funk t-shirt.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, baby. Wow.
I'm going to send you the link, too, so you can see it.
Wow, folks at home, this is
personal.
Terry Funk and Sabu, all bloodied up. Nice print of their aftermath. Yeah, Sabu looking exactly how I remembered him. Terry Funk looking exactly how he probably looked. Terry Funk went on forever too.
And the picture of it is sent in your messenger there, so you can pull it up, see the blood, see the barbed wire, and see the Japanese writing. Is Sabu Japanese?
No, but I bet probably around that time ECW would have been doing stuff with either All Japan or New Japan at that time. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, went to the Las Vegas fight store, and I thought it was going to be only UFC stuff. They had so much cool stuff there, so saw the rest. They had so much wrestling gear.
Oh, I
But
bet.
that one,
Yeah.
That one reminded me of you, so I definitely want to pick it up for you, Big Cat.
Man, thanks. I can't wait. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm gonna put it on live at the party, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I really appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah, so Vegas was a blast. Made a little bit of cash, a little bit of dineros, a little bit of shekels.
You walked away with more at the gambling table, so to
At
speak.
the gambling table, yes. Now, what I've come to realize is that's the only place you can win money, because everything else is expensive as fuck.
Yeah, much like the rest of life, it costs money. So I guess this would probably be no different. You're not making money back on food, or you're not making money back on a hotel.
No, and I mean, everything just is marked up. Drinks are marked up. I mean, we were at like a sports betting lounge at one point. We were watching these giant TVs, and we're like, oh, we'll just grab a few drinks, and we'll go sit down. I go to, like, all right, we'll get 3 gin and tonics and then 1 Coors Light. Guess how much?
So 3 gin and tonics, 1 Coors Light. Coors Light, I'm gonna say it's gonna be less than it is here in Canada. But for 4 drinks,
This is at one of the big casinos. Just
which
so you
one?
know. Starts with a V. The one with the riverboat people going all the way through it, like the
Venetian.
gondolas. The Venetian, yeah.
I'm gonna say $35
$84.
for 4 drinks.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
when we started going to Walgreens and then bringing cases of beer into the sports betting lounge.
See,
and they were fine with that.
When I had went to Vegas, I didn't pay for drinks at all because we were just sit at the gambling table and they bring them to you.
Yeah, well, we did that at night. Like,
But then
during
I
the day,
guess
we went to
at
other
the
stuff,
sports
yeah.
area, it was a little bit different.
Yeah, because you're watching
Right.
screens and
Okay.
We thought maybe the drinks later coming around. There were other sports lounges where you had to pay to get in.
Yeah.
and then they'd bring you drinks. They'd be like, you get 3 tickets, and there was, I don't know if you've heard of, it's not William. There's one of like this giant betting casino, for sports specifically on Fremont Street. I can't remember what the name of it is. And we went there, and they were like, it's $70 to sit down each person. You get 3 drink tickets, but you stay here all day. Like, That's a terrible deal.
Yeah, I'm sure a day like that, where it's like a day like March Madness, or a moving day in college football, or like moving day at the U.S. Open. Yeah, that might be worth it. You know, if you're just gonna sit there and watch golf anyways, and you know, you intend on betting on some of the outcomes, yeah, that makes sense to me. But just to like watch a game,
no. I mean, it was fun watching because we were there for Thanksgiving Thursday, so we watched some football.
Yeah.
And there was the Cowboys versus the Raiders. And we were in Raiders Nation, you know, go Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know how Dallas is always a fan favorite everywhere, so that game was a riot. I think I had money on the Cowboys, but they lost. Okay. And someone lost a lot of money because they were pretty upset when the game ended. But they were very excited every time Dallas scored.
Yeah, so they must have lost something significant.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people lose a lot of money, but none of my friends lost a lot of money. We all walked away from the casinos like Ocean's 11, 12, and 13 with maybe $35.
Now, did you put a cap on yourself on a daily kind of gambling spending?
Yeah, so I just brought $400 cash for gambling, and that was this is what I'm going to spend. And then I'd bring the amount that I would like to spend that night on gambling. And if I was out, then I would leave. And my friends would be like, oh, we'll give you money. I go, no, like, I learned you have to
when
know
I went,
your limits, stay within it.
Thanks, government. Thanks, OLG. Yeah, I went obviously when I was much younger, so I had much less disposable income. But yeah, it was the same thing. I think I gave myself $100 a day. And it was like, this is the money I, keep using this money. And if you play at a $5 blackjack table, $100 can get you hours of entertainment.
Yeah,
because you go up 15, you go up 15, down 10, up 5, down 5, up 25. Kind of like it's so. Yeah. You stay within that, and then eventually you might have your end of the chips, and you're like, oh, okay.
We saw one dude. He was at a $25 table at Ellis Island. Giant stack of chips. Like, I don't know.
And so I imagine is that a part within the New York
No,
casino?
It's off strip.
Oh, okay.
Off strip, dive casino. Excellent. Spent a lot of time there. Best place on earth. $4 beers when they're not coming around. Dealers get their tips, so they like work with you the whole time you're playing blackjack. They're not just like, mailing it in there. I mean, there was one night I was so drunk, the dealer was just playing for me.
He's just like, hey, no, you go, no, you're gonna want to hit on that.
He's like, you have a 12. You want to hit on this? I'm like, you go for it, man. He's like, boom, all right, that's my money. You should have. It was a good hit, trust me.
Yeah.
And then he'd see like a 17. He's like, I'm showing a 14. Don't hit on this. You're not gonna hit. Go ahead. Like I wouldn't even have to give any signals. I think I lost that night.
That's almost like having like an investment specialist at the bank who's managing your money for you. You're like, I'm not gonna reinvest my dividends in the stock. You do that part. I'm just gonna sit back and make money. And this blackjack dealer was no different.
Yeah, he was great. I think most of us lost money with him, so who knows what he was actually doing.
So
but,
yeah, the efficacy of that may be a bit different, but
either way, I learned a lot how to play blackjack from it. And one of my major tips that I learned is when you're playing blackjack, every time you go up, double your bet. And then that'll make you go up way quicker, because if you lose it, then you're back to square one. But it's just a very quick way to scale up, especially when you're winning. Because 6 out of 10 hands, you will win, and you play in 10-hand increments, not one. Think about that next time for you, folks. That's Vegas gambling tips. The end of the podcast.
Vegas we got a lot of tips here. A lot of tips here on this podcast. Redneck tips. Vegas
Redneck tips. Vegas gambling tips.
Gambling tips. Yeah. Let's get into part of the show, though, right? Let's get into the show. By first reviewing episodes of last week's show, because we got some notes. We got some notes. We got some notes. We got some notes. Not too many notes here on this one. One thing that come up is something we've all heard before: the pickle juice hangover cure. And exactly why someone would ever do that. Well, this is a popular hangover cure because pickle juice contains a lot of the same sodiums and potassiums that are important electrolytes that your body probably loses after a night of drinking. So it's more of a theoretical thing, but theoretically, drinking pickle juice would correct those electrolyte imbalances, which could help your hangover. Now, personally, listeners of the show, you know I'm a Gatorade guy. I'm fine with Gatorade. I like the taste of Gatorade. And I think the pickle juice taste would just be something I wouldn't be able to get over, especially on a hungover day.
Like, yeah, if you're drastically hungover, gulping that in, it's not going to be a good morning.
No, but you know, if you do get to the end of that pickle jar, who knows? Maybe just save on to a little bit of juice and just see what happens. Next up, we were talking about collect calls and how they work. It's pretty simple, and it still works to this day. This information pulled directly from Bell's website, which is pretty easy. So for you folks at home, for you young kids who might not know what's going on, so you pick up the phone and hit 0. That will call the operator. They'll dial the operator, and then you tell them you would like to make a collect call, and then you dial in the number of the person you're trying to reach. So the person on the receiving line, for example, me, when my father's calling me from prison, is prompted with a pre-recorded message asking if I would like to pay the cost of the call, oftentimes long distance.
Does it still say, you have a collect call from pick up the fucking phone, Cam?
Yes, it says exactly that. So yeah, this would be something. It's often long distance calls. You know, but you know, I'm sure if you went somewhere and someone's, you know, like, hey, I'm in an emergency, can I use your phone? Who knows? They may ask you to call collect.
I never say yes to that. Have you ever had someone come up to you and be like, hey, can I use your phone?
No, nothing that comes to mind. No.
I'll tell after the notes and amendments my hey, can I use your phone story.
Go for it. Those were our 2 notes for the week. It was it was pretty short.
The other day, actually this is like a year ago now. I'm at a Tim Hortons parking lot, just grabbing a coffee, and this guy who just looks like he's probably working construction, so a little bit grubby. But you know, at construction work, you're not dressing your nines, right? So he comes up to me, he goes, "Hey, dude, can I borrow your phone for a second?" I'm like, "What? Why?" He's like, I'm just late. I'm trying to find my boss. Like, I work in this building. I have no idea which floor I'm on. Like, oh, I can call him for you. He's like, all right, 286-489-20. So I call the number, no pickup. I'm like, hey, just so you know, your employee, like, Daryl is working for you, whatever. He goes, okay, thanks, man. And I just go, all right, good luck. Anyway, I get a phone call back from that number in like 20 minutes. To like, hello. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, this guy named Daryl said he was looking for you. He goes, what? You go, yeah, like Daryl said he's looking. He goes, oh, okay, it's fine. And I'm like, oh, this is a scam. Like, this guy definitely is looking to grab my phone, because that I go to my buddy's house and I go, yeah, this number just called me back. He goes, oh, is it the guy at Tim Hortons? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, that guy's tried that with me so many times.
Oh, he's just trying to like steal the phone.
Yeah, and then once you're like, I'll call, he has a number which goes to his friend, right? That'll pick up, and it's the same story every time.
Right? Oh, right. So I bet he hears like, you know, it's like, can I use phones? Like, and then once you say like, oh, I'll call the number for you. As soon as that point, he's like, fuck, I need to finish the charade, or else,
yeah, exactly.
It looks too much.
My
like,
word's gonna get out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did that for somebody at work once. For the same thing, like I put him on speaker and I held the phone.
Yeah,
but I think
it's like $1,000 investment, right? A phone.
In that case, it actually was the example of they were looking for their family at like just at Casa Loma or something, and you know they were just like, yeah, exactly. They were just like in a different room or something, you know, something like that, and they just kind of lost him. And they're like, oh, my phone died. Like, I know my wife's number. Can you call it? And you're like, okay, like I'm here at work, so I kind of think this is appropriate, you know.
Yeah, you have a lot of control of that situation there.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing worse than having your phone dead and you being in a place you have no idea. You're like, well, looks like we're back in the 90s again.
Exactly. Is it the beat?
You're in a new house.
I am. I moved.
What do you think of it?
It's great.
How'd the moving go?
Everything went well. It was a good move. We had to make a couple trips. Just because we were kind of restricted by the width of the truck size, just because the little area where we could back in isn't too wide, so we kind of had to, you know, get a smaller truck because of that.
Yeah.
Before we made the move over. And but the move went smoothly. Of course, it's going to be a busy day. You know, I was up at 7 so I could get the U-Haul at 8. But then it turns out the U-Haul place doesn't open till 9. Although online it lets you book it at 8 a.m.
Are you shouting out right now against U-Haul?
Oh no!
Make it official. Make it official.
Oh, this was just one of those. So like, it's moving. Cam, you experienced this, just a year and a bit ago, but or maybe not even. No, back in did you move? You moved 2021. Yeah. So just a few months ago, you experienced this. Where kind of like the day of, you just want everything to go well.
Yeah.
So, you kind of have that, or, and it's a big move anyways for Jess and I. So I kind of had that night before you're going to Disney World kind of feeling in your stomach. Right?
A little bit of anxiety.
Anxiety, but you're excited. You just want to get it over with. So that morning, you just want to make sure the move goes smoothly. And you're thinking things like, I hope traffic is in my favor.
I hope no one's blocking the elevator because they're puked in it.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I hope the elevator booking goes properly, and then you're like, I hope it doesn't rain. Like, you're hoping all of these things. So I booked the U-Haul weeks, like a month in advance, and it lets me book it for 8 a.m. with like a mobile check-in. So I'm like, great. There's gonna be some system where I go on the U-Haul app, and I'm given a code, and then that code opens a locker, and then that locker has a key to my thing. Nope. It lets you book it at 8 a.m., even though the lot doesn't open till 9.
Did you submit a formal complaint?
No, but I arrived to U-Haul with, I'm in a lineup of 6 other people who are in the exact same position that I am. Some booked at 8, some booked at 8:30, and they're all just
That's so stupid.
Waiting there. And I'm kind of like, okay, at least this is happening to all of us, not just me. But yeah, it's, you're going to move, so you kind of have to like just grind it out, head down, work on it. But we don't have too much stuff. All of our furniture is very, very light. There's nothing particularly heavy to move. And everything was kind of like, we started at 9. We were eating pizza by 2. It really wasn't that much of a thing.
Smash it. Love the pizza meal on a move-in day.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. We got some nice, like, classy pizza.
Oh, classy pizza.
From like a place that, it's like a stone oven. It's like stone-baked pizza.
Oh, Cameron, you're doing so well now. We thought you were going to get the city pizza.
There was truffle oil associated with it.
Where are you getting the truffle oil from?
I hate
Don't tell me you're getting it from truffle. I don't even know what it is. I don't believe it's real.
Oh, my God. I don't like the taste of it because I've had a lot of meals where they put way too much of it. And it's one of those things, it's only good in a very small amounts, But the move went well. Still kind of.
I don't know if I ever had it.
Still kind of in the moving in process. Although it's been now a week.
No, that's 2 months, man. That's 2 months.
It's been 8 days. Sort of a couple things like Jess's brother is moving in a couple months also. So we're kind of holding on to some boxes for him to use.
As you do.
So we kind of we have some boxes held up, and I'm trying to sell my monitors, so I haven't unboxed those yet. Those are just kind of staying there until I can sell them, hopefully, and then buy some new ones.
You selling your monitors?
Yeah, like my speakers around my desk setup. The ones I have now are just too fucking big. They're these massive Yorkville 8-inch drivers. They were huge when I had, I don't need. Back when I wanted to mix music and stuff, they were great. But now they're just big. Like, they're big, and they're probably 25 pounds each. So I want to upgrade to smaller, better ones, if that makes sense. So, a little more expensive, but smaller, but better quality, that kind of thing.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So we're still
you'll be moving in for the next 2 months. There's, just boxes everywhere of just like, where should this go? This doesn't have a nice area for it.
Well, yeah, because we only have the, I guess, it's not like we have an unlimited amount of space also, right? So we're kind of like, I'm here in our office right now, and then we kind of have like an office, a bedroom, a family room, a kitchen.
Office too, and you say you don't have that much space. Oh, big shot over here. Big shot.
Yeah, big. We're sharing an office space. As I'm sure you could,
coworkers now.
Co-workers now. But yeah, we only have kind of like the 4 rooms, and So we got all of our stuff, though. We got the, we just got the coffee maker, kind of like everything we needed to kind of replenish ourselves. And, and then you end up, it's funny, though, you end up getting rid of stuff, too, as soon as you move in. It's like, I took an entire carload of stuff to Salvation Army before we moved in. Damn. Jess and I both did. And then we got here, and then we're still like, okay, we actually don't need this. We actually don't need this. It's a lot of things like blankets. Like, you kind of get there, and you're like, oh, we have 14 blankets. That is too many blankets. And then, we find ourselves here or whatever. So, move-in went fantastic, and, that's about it.
Wow. So you went to the Salvation Army?
I went to the Salvation Army.
Does that mean you're also anti-LGBTQ?
Is the Salvation Army anti-LGBTQ?
I learned this last week. Yeah, apparently they're anti-LGBTQ.
Really?
So that makes you on the hot seat, big fella. Adam and Steve, how do you feel about that, Cam?
Wow. No, I didn't know that. I thought the Salvation Army was like a reputable charitable organization.
Yeah, I don't know. You learn things. Apparently Chick-fil-A, they've changed a lot of their policies.
We know.
Well, that's the thing. I thought that was a common thing, and then I learned that they are. I'm gonna get myself too deep in the deep end. We learned about this week that they were just supporting some organizations that were anti-LGBT, but now they're no longer. It's confusing. Either way, Cam, you're a bigot because you donated your stuff.
Yeah, either way.
Either way, you hate the gays.
Look at me go. You got a segment?
I'll accept it, Cam, because you didn't know.
Thanks. You got any segments this week? Got any games for us to play here on the podcast there, Cam?
I was hoping we were going to do a little Urban Dictionary because we can speak different languages too. And
okay, that sounds great.
This one's for the millennials.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's open up another round of Urban Dictionary Balderdash. AIDS, bum, cum, douche, edge, fap, gimp, herb, ike, jerk, cush, lamp, mac, narc, oaf, pank, queet, re, slore, tilth, uff, vag, walk of shame, zon, yeet, and zuck. Now let's play some Balderdash. Urban Dictionary Balderdash.
Alrighty, mister.
This game's easy.
Cam, this one's easy. We go through the internet and we find words that nor Cam or I are familiar with because we're getting to be washed. I'm getting married. He's moving in with a significant other. We barely know what TikTok is. Anyway, your word of the day, Cam, is a jump hump.
A jump hump. Could I?
Just jump hump.
Could I hear it in a sentence?
Sorry, I have to cancel dinner tonight. Stacy needs me to jump hump for her again.
Okay, I can't make it because I need to jump hump.
Stacy needs me to jump hump for her.
Jump hump for her. Jump hump. Okay, I'm gonna say that a jump hump is when, like somebody, either you or your partner, somebody is hurt, right? Some kind of maybe you just did some heavy Bulgarian split squats. Or maybe you're recovering from a little MCL tweak. So someone's, kind of like in some like physical pain, muscle soreness. So one person has to do all the heavy lifting in the bedroom. Right? So it's like, sorry, I gotta jump hump tonight, because Stacy, she worked a lot today, whatever, she's tired. Like I have to do all the work. So I'm going to say that's what jump hump means. It means when you have to do all the work in the bedroom.
Bedroom related for sure, but not so much with only 2 with 3. Cam, have you ever heard of the Mormon dick soak?
Okay, dick soak, yeah. So this is where you, it's called soaking, I believe, which is where you just sort of stick it in there and then just don't thrust. And then that is like, in the eyes of the Lord, like that's okay.
So now I want you to think about this again. Sorry, I have to cancel tonight. Stacy, a Mormon, needs me to jump hump for her again.
Okay, so Oh yeah, I don't know what it could mean then. I don't know what it could mean. No, because I kind of have
So
my own
it's-
definition is too strong in my head.
You're
right
close. You're close. You got the Mormon dick soak. Now you bring Stacy over and creates an artificial thrust. Okay with the big guy upstairs because Susie's jumping on the bed doing her own thing. Stacy's getting railed, but in the eyes of the Lord, she's just soaking. It's all good. It's the act of keeping all men or all people in good graces while creating the stimulation of a soaking party with an artificial thrust by jumping on the bed.
now. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so kind of like it's a third party who's involved.
It's a third party who's involved. Yeah, that's why you got to Stacy's having Connor over, and then Stacy needs Susie to jump hump for her because the soaking party's happening.
I mean, that's arguably weirder because there's a third. Like, not only is soaking bizarre, but there's now a third party.
Oh, I know. It's so. It's such a like. What would you call it? Loophole. That's I feel like is not even a loophole. It's if you ask the priest, what if we're technically not thrusting each other, but there's a third party on the bed who is jumping, therefore creating artificial movement. My hips are locked in place, not creating any motion, thrusting into the lady. Not me, gravity. I feel like the intent there is definitely not in good graces. You're
Well,
like,
we
I don't
all-
know how it got there.
Well, we all know that the loophole is the butt.
For Mormons, I don't know about that.
It's the butt. You know.
You think?
That's the loophole.
I don't know about that. I don't know much about the great state of Utah or Mormons. Obviously, I don't even know if they like Adam and Steve or not.
I don't even know. God, we might need a whole Mormons section in our
Mormon tip of the day.
might need a
Jump
Mormon
monkey.
tip of the day. Get your friend to vigorously move the mattress while you and your high school girlfriend soak.
Sounds so gross.
It does sound gross. Okay, Cam, I got one here for you.
Just the term soaking sounds gross. Anyway, go ahead.
Here's something from Urban Dictionary. Flooding the basement.
Could that be used in a sentence, please?
Of course. I got a call that the Uber Eats is here. Sorry about flooding the basement.
See, originally I thought it was when a true Chad comes over with 6'3", just a chest like Arnold, and then you're soaking your own basement. Now I'm confused. No one's getting wet over Uber Eats.
Now I said flooding. I said flooding the basement, not soaking the basement.
Soaking the basement, flooding the basement. Sorry, my Uber Eats is here, or my Uber Eats is here. Sorry about flooding the basement. Oh boy. Is it poo related?
I know, but you got to give your own. I can't be leading you into the definition.
Fair enough. All right. Flooding the basement. I feel like I've heard this term too.
It's possible. You're in the meme world, so there's a chance that you've heard it before.
Yeah, and I might have looked it up too, but this is just not real. I thought it was definitely sexual. Flooding the basement. Is it when you're so excited about something that you just completely forget about the thing you were doing?
No.
That's my guess. Oh,
That's
okay.
your guess? Oh, okay. Well, no, it wasn't. Cam, you were on the right path, though. Flooding the basement is arousing a woman to a very high level and then leaving without any sort of intercourse or sexual relief.
Damn it! I think I did know that
you
too. I was so close.
You flood the basement.
See, the thing that threw me off was, sorry, my Uber Eats was here.
Well, yeah, because we got close to that point, and then your Uber Eats got there, and then you had to leave. Without any sort of relief. Flooding the basement. See, that sounds terrible.
Blue balling and flooding the basement.
Yeah, exactly.
Noted. Oh, boy. Okay, well, we learned something here. Cam, every day we're becoming younger. Every time we do this podcast.
Yeah. This podcast takes years off of my life.
It does. That sounds interesting to put it that way. Speaking of years off our life, let's take a man who risks every week to take a year off his life. It's the man who wears the Calgary Flames hat. It's MacGyver in Fiverr.
MacGyver in 5. It's time for MacGyver in Fiverr. MacGyver in Fiverr. It's time for MacGyver in Fiverr. Because we only have 5 minutes to recap this week's episode of MacGyver.
Yeah, we know how the game is played. Every single week, we recap another week in the adventures.
Hardly even a game.
Special Agent MacGyver. We do this all the time, but the catch is we only have 5 minutes to recap each week's episode. Cam, you're going to be kicking off the charge on this week's episode, and then I'm coming up second for
sir.
episode 14 this week, titled Countdown.
Countdown.
Now you have 5 minutes on
Are
your
you
clock.
ready, Cam? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you're counting down, so let's hear it, baby.
3, 2, 1, to go. Episode 14, Countdown, opens up on the North Pacific Ocean on a Navy ship, the Victorian, where we see a bomb on board blowing up part of the ship, killing one of the captains, and actually being a warning bomb that created some artificial damage on the boat. Now we pan over to Mac, who's in Venice Beach with his lady friend Susan, while he's treating her to a breakfast built by a robot. But after dropping an egg on her foot, he gets an important phone call that he can't miss. A villain named Viking was responsible for the bombing of the ship, and they need Mac's help. On his way to the office, he meets his old friend Charlie Robinson. We learn that they used to fight in Vietnam together. Did we know that he fought? Did we know he fought in Vietnam?
He's mentioned Vietnam before.
Okay, perfect. As a bomb diffusing team, and they are now assigned to the same job. At the same moment, they get a call from the terrorists saying they have only 10 hours from now until the large bomb goes off unless they deliver $6.5 million. They descend via the chopper over to the ship. The winch fails and they drop all their tools in the ocean. A MacGyver special, meaning he's to find all things on board to make this thing happen. Mac throws a spare rope and carabiners, looping onto himself, and quick rappels down the ship, as well as Charlie. The captain of the ship leads him to the bomb, which is in the engine room, and they open a panel to find an extremely complex bomb covered with plexiglass, which seems like you need to get past the plexiglass to make anything happen. Mechanical, electrical, and chemical triggered, making it a nearly impossible one to solve. They now are formed as a second bomb on the ship that's going to go off at the same time. Charlie goes over to that bomb and uses an old trick that he learned in Vietnam to get a sample of the chemicals to figure out how he can defuse the bomb. As he probes the left side of the bomb itself, piercing the plexiglass, he accidentally breaks the seal, making the phosphorus combust because it's a vacuum bomb, meaning any air that does touch the bomb inside will now create combustion, seemingly exploding and killing Charlie. Cam will pass it off from there.
Pass it over to me. Charlie dies a hero's death, but this is actually where we find out that we get this we get the bomb creator Viking on the horn, where we find out that Viking is actually a pre-recorded voice. It's not somebody sitting at a telephone somewhere. So the affected area that the bomb has gone off is sealed, and Mac is feeling very sad about Charlie's death. The two of them actually defused 51 bombs in Vietnam over the time that they were there. So yeah, it turns out the powder is phosphorus, which means that it ignites when it meets with oxygen. And this is right when we hear that there is actually a third bomb also. So now the FBI team is at a bus stop where we're about to drop off the $6 million in cash for Viking in a briefcase in a locker. More on that later. Back to the bombs, though. Mac scrapes off parts of a neon sign and plans to use the neon gas as a way to counteract the phosphorus in the bomb. Mac makes his way with the neon sign pipe through the silicone gel, keeping it all airtight, and the neon gas works. It sucks up all the phosphorus, and Carol, the captain, who's at the second bomb, does the same thing, and she also gets it. But of course, that bomb was only level 1 because it seems as though there's a second bomb attached to it. Back at the bus station, Viking calls the FBI guys to let him know that he's ran away with the cash, and he will not be telling them how to disarm the bomb. Turns out that the cash was put in a locker with a fake back. So Viking ran off before we even knew he was in there and took the cash. Mac hears this news, and he does become a little scared because Viking was going to tell us how to defuse the bomb. Just then, Peter informs Mac. Peter, remember from last week, got shocked in that house. Informs Mac of a similar bomb that the FBI encountered in the past with some kind of acid flowing through the pipes, which they last saw in an incident in Cam Bay, Vietnam. So here's what Mac needs. He needs a pastry tube, liquid oven cleaner, and some low-fat milk, which is actually an alkaline base and organic neutral to deal with the acid like a massive antacid. We get our mixtures and we open up the acid tubes. We put in a shot and we start getting our intended chemical reaction. Mac lets Peter know that they have a round of golf coming up, which seems odd, but actually turns out to be code for Mac needing to talk to Peter privately. Peter gets on a private line where Mac wants to talk to him about the previous bomb in Cameron Bay. Mac sees this bomb as being a beautiful piece of art and feels too complicated not to be personal. The mixture of a thermocoupler, acid, and phosphorus is too much. Mac believes whoever made this could have been involved with the bomb at Cameron Bay somehow. Back at the bomb, the antacids have worked, and we start to drain the acid. Just then, a little arc reactor and the bomb seems to be diffused. Before we can celebrate, Peter calls and lets him know that the computer found who Viking is. It's Donahue, one of the FBI guys. Just then, the bomb turns back on, reactivated, taken down. We have less than a minute. Fuck, I didn't get it.
You can't say anything.
I didn't get it. What happened there? Shit.
I gave you so much time.
I don't know what happened there. This was one of the most scientific episodes out there. I spent my whole time trying to remember fucking grade 10 intro to science.
Jesus, I can't believe we missed that one. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if the bomb's saved. We don't know. There might not be an next
episode. This has never happened before.
Week,
I don't know. This may have happened once or twice with Knight Rider, but it definitely hasn't happened on the way back.
No, we've really been skimming off the top of these episodes. That's a rarity we just saw there, folks. So, is MacGyver back next week? We don't know. I don't know. We can't seem to keep ourselves in check. Well, I guess we plow ahead then from there.
Yeah, I guess that's all you can do. Yeah, a lot of science in this one. There was chemical reactions and
a lot of chemical reactions,
phosphorus, and although very bottlenecky or very bottle feeling. It was an FBI control room, 2 like electrical rooms where the bomb was, and then the exterior on a cruise ship. It was very very low budget by the feel of it.
But I don't know. You did see some shots of the ocean in a helicopter.
Yeah. That could all be, that's a simple pickup shot. That's reusable content.
Yeah, they definitely like helicopters on this show.
Yeah, and bombs.
Yeah, well, he used to be a bomb diffusing agent. Right?
Exactly. Well, this is coming into it, right? The bomb diffusing nom.
Flames.
Who knows? We could get a first name before we know it.
Oh. Maybe. Probably not.
We never know.
Maybe at the end of the season.
Maybe.
All right, cameras. Well, I don't know if I told you. I'm getting surgery tomorrow.
The surgery's going down?
The surgery's happening tomorrow.
Right?
So this might be the final episode.
Yeah, we came in hot with a lot of this
redneck tips?
The hernia stuff came in hot maybe 7 weeks ago or so, and then heard nothing about it, and then your life pretty much went back to normal immediately.
Yeah, and now tomorrow it's gonna be hell. So I'm gonna be on the operating table tomorrow at 8 a.m. Be there at 6. They say it's like a half-hour procedure, and then I'm probably gonna take the week off of work. Just apparently don't feel great for a few days.
Yeah, I imagine after surgery, you don't feel good. Doesn't matter what they're surgerying or what's happening. It probably doesn't feel nice.
Nah, so I hope my work's okay with it. Be kind of surprised. I asked my boss, or the HR lady, I said, hey, how many sick days do I have as a salaried employee? She says, technically none. I don't think that's how the law works, but sure.
Technically none. I think they're called Lou days, I think.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I just said, okay, well, I'm going to be off next week because don't call me. I'm getting my stomach ripped open.
I'm getting my stomach
They're like, yeah,
ripped
take
open.
as much time as you need. Like, thank God.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice of them, at
I had
least.
too much sushi. They had to rip open my stomach.
Sushi coma.
Wish me luck. If you're listening to this, I'm probably in the hospital.
Okay. Good luck, Cam. Good luck,
So
hospital.
what should be my last meal today? Because I What should it be?
I don't know.
Eh?
Something that you have in the fridge.
I guess, yeah. I can't eat after 6, so
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna just have a lunch.
Yeah, you need that you need that long fast.
Yeah, make sure all the poo comes out. Because then when they anesthesia, then you poo on the table.
I don't think that happens.
Anyway, it definitely happens. That's exactly why they don't want you to eat beforehand.
No, I thought it was just so you don't have stuff going on down there. Like I don't think they think you're gonna poo on the table.
It's exactly that. Yeah.
Really?
Because your bowel is just relaxed, and if you have shit in there, it's just gonna flow out on the table everywhere.
Huh. Okay. No, I always thought so. It didn't like counteract any, like, when you get when you have to go get blood work done, they'll say fast for 12 hours. I thought it was just so like they're aware of the baseline of your level and it's been unaffected by food or drink or something like that.
I think we might both be right, but I know for
wonder.
surgery specifically, when they're putting in anesthesia, they just don't want you to shit everywhere.
I know,
Because
yeah.
they're gonna do like an X-ray. You know when you see like the X-ray of the body where it's like this?
Yep,
and then you see all the
sideways
intestines?
guy, tube coming down his mouth into the big
Well,
circle.
You notice how you never see any like black spots in the tubes?
Yeah.
That's because you're not supposed to eat. If you did eat, then they'll just cancel the surgery and go, no, you ate. We can't do this because you're gonna shit all over our table.
Yeah, I just had no clue it had to do so specifically with shitting.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the parts. There might be other things, but I know that is for a fact one of the reasons.
Interesting.
Okay, Cameron. Well, let's play our last game of the evening. It's time for a little headline or asinine.
Hey, headline, asinine. Headline or asinine.
Where we try and fool each other to to do a little fake news, a little Anthony Fauci fake news.
Yeah, of
see what's
course.
fake.
Yeah. Cam's turning this pod. You went to America for 3 days, and you're already the king of of tracking misinformation.
Is that another Anthony Fauci lie?
Yeah.
Another Anthony Fauci lie. Cam, headline or ass now? You tell me, is this an Anthony Fauci lie or not? Robot serving sushi in Waterloo.
Yeah, so I can only imagine you're trying to say Waterloo, Ontario, unless you're trying to pull a fast one on me, and this is actually happening in Germany. But yeah, we've all
This is
seen
Waterloo, California.
California, exactly. I'm sure there's one in like Iowa.
There is also, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of them. So it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere.
And England.
But I think you're.
Waterloo, couldn't you be? Go ahead.
Well, I think
ABBA?
if ABBA's singing about it, that would have to be in Sweden then.
Yeah, but they were talking about it in the Battle of Waterloo.
Wasn't that in Germany?
I might be wrong on this one.
But anyways, either way, that doesn't matter. But what does matter is these robots coming after our jobs. Now Belgium. So see, there you go. Neither of us.
We are both wrong. Anyway.
Serving sushi. That could mean any number of things, right? That could just mean like serving a tray with platters on it, or that could mean serving individual California rolls and everything in between. I mean, God, the cost of a robot, we're not there yet. The cost of buying the robot and then the robot's upkeep in a present day short term far outweighs the cost of paying a 14-year-old minimum wage. So there would be that, but everyone likes to be on the cutting edge, and I'm sure this sushi restaurant has gotten a lot of press, clearly, if it's a headline in there. But I don't see the robots accessing the sushi world right away. If they do, I hope they're wearing like a ninja style kind of headband, full gi, maybe an apron of some kind. So I am going to say this one's asinine.
This one is a headline at 168 Sushi in Waterloo, Ontario, where it's not a sushi or a robot preparing sushi, more so just a server where it has a little cat face and a smile and it blinks. And then the person who makes the food presses the LCD screen that says, bring this to, we'll have 4 different levels on it. Bring this to table 4, 6, and 8. and then the little robot with a little cart comes over, and it says, please grab the food off tray 4. And there's a little mark 4. Grab that. And then it goes to the next table. It goes, please grab from tray whatever. And then it just rolls back in. Pretty simple technology. And when they asked about it, they go, why are you doing this? Because no 14-year-olds want to work and make $7 minimum wage. So we've invested in this for now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Who knows? We'll see. I don't see robots taking us over as much as Elon Musk wants it to.
No.
But this could be a good start.
Robots can't make this podcast. They probably can.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a robot.
Headline or asinine? There is no asinine. There is no headline like that on the internet from the past 26 years. That is asinine. You made it up.
Yeah, could be that.
Dang it.
Okay, Cam, here we go.
Go ahead.
Headline or asinine? Sperm is being used to create an alternative to plastic.
Well, the real question is what kind of sperm? I don't think it's human sperm. Maybe a duck, maybe a bison. But the stuff is sticky. It's strong. It holds something very strong, and that's people or other animals. And it's kind of like glue, right? I don't really know how you make plastics, polymers, but I assume it comes with some kind of white pasty substance mixed in with a little bit of flour and a little bit of something else. Next thing you know, you got a plastic hard as rock. And hard as rock it would be, Cam, because that is a headline.
God, Cam, this is a headline here for you. This is a headline coming out of China where scientists have found a new way to make an eco-friendly plastic made from the sperm of salmon. So what happens here, 2 short strands of DNA from the sperm are combined with a chemical which is actually commonly found in vegetable oil that actually binds the 2 strands of DNA together, creating a squishy material that they are calling hydrogel. From here, the gel is molded into whatever shape you want it to be, and then freeze-dried to remove any excess moisture, and when it finally solidifies, boom, you have a mug, or a bowl, or a plate. This is great news for the future, actually, because this practice of taking DNA and bonding it with something else to create a new material. It's not necessarily sperm that's the important part, it's the DNA, which means because possibly we could theoretically make plastic out of other sustainable resources, such as excess material from crops, algae, or even bacteria, just anything with DNA strands that can be combined. So that's kind of cool, but how long would it take for me to drink a coffee from a sperm mug? I think after you get that imagery out of your head, it wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not mentioning it on the label, which you probably want to do the first little bit to get a little bit of hype, after that, it's all gravy.
All gravy, baby.
All gravy, baby. Hey, headline or asinine, Cameron? Get the new Axe body spray TikTok challenge puts 12 in emergency room.
God, who knows? I don't know what this is. I don't have TikTok. Aren't aware of challenges. However, we used to fuck around with Axe body spray and Tag. Remember Tag body spray?
Oh yeah. I always thought they were maybe the same thing because they looked the exact
same. I think they had like a slightly different nozzle on the top. We used to do the like the flamethrower thing, where you kind of like take a barbecue lighter so your hand was a little bit away and then just we would do that, spray it. I don't remember this kid's name, John something. But we would go to his bedroom and we would spray Axe on the walls in like concentric circles and then light the one end and then just watch the flame go like all around.
Makes you very much question what was in there.
Well, I mean, it does say flammable on the side, I mean, that would work with any flammable substance, like any household
in my
chemical.
opinion, it's just pure macho in there. That's how you get women, baby.
Well, of course, right? There was that, the commercial where they just kind of like come pouring out of the rafters towards you as soon as they smell that, like it's a magnet. Yeah, so I'm going to say it's something like that. However, I think due to the, I think kids have been lighting Axe on fire for decades. I mean, case in point, I just told you I did. But I think because it's a viral thing, they can finally put a name on it. In 2003, they couldn't put a name on kids lighting Axe body spray on fire. So it might just be like a random story. But now that there's like a hashtag associated, they can kind of make this whole thing happen. I would love to hear what the kids are doing though, so I'm going to say it's a headline.
This one is a new idea for the kids because it hasn't been done yet, Cam. This one's asinine, but I did see someone do a TikTok challenge in front of me yesterday as I was driving home. 4 kids were walking across a stoplight, then all fell on top of each other and laughed, and they thought it was hilarious. So then Shannon leaned over and honked the horn and said, "Fucking TikTok challenges," and told me to go.
Did they look at the camera like mouth wide open, eyes shocked, like they've never seen this before in their lives?
Yeah, new male face.
The new males. God. What's up, new males?
What's up, new males? New listeners, new males.
What's up, new males and old slobs? What's up, baby? Yeah.
Boy.
Did I ever tell you that one time I saw a guy, like a high school boy doing a TikTok dance? And he was with like 2 girls, and the camera was like on a fire hydrant so they could, have somewhere to kind of lean it and do the dance. And then at one point, I'm like walking home with groceries or whatever, and at one point, like, I just lock eyes with this guy, and I give him as much kind of like manly fathering parenting advice that I could in one look, and just tried to convey in a 2-second stare, tried to convince him, like, you're a man.
This is not how you act.
You're an adult. This is not how you act. And I could see like a little look of shame in his eyes, like a little kind of tail between his legs kind of thing. And I hope maybe that he remembers the story as strongly as I do.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
That'll be our next prime minister.
Oh, hopefully. Here we go, Cam. Headliner Asinine. Police officer fired after fatally shooting a man in a wheelchair.
Boy. Man, school shooting last week. Missed out on that one. And now this. Man, it doesn't seem to end. Yeah, you can't seem to get away on this one. I mean, police officers have been killing people for years. If you're blind, deaf, or in a wheelchair, that story doesn't fly as well. And I think the lowest form of that is in the wheelchair, saying, I accidentally shot him. How he accidentally shot him, I'm assuming it was a stray bullet that probably shouldn't have hit the man. Or he said, stand up and put your hands behind your back. And he went, I can't. And next thing you know, the shotgun was out. As he should be fired. I don't know the circumstance of this, but I'm going to pull the old, I know one sentence of this headline, and he should be in jail and rotting in prison. Headline. Stray bullet.
Cam, this is a headline here for you. You may have misheard me. I said fatally shooting, not accidentally shooting.
You can accidentally and fatally shoot
That's a good point. Okay. No, that's fine. I wasn't sure if you had misheard me. Because I
do often.
Exactly. Well, I do have to say, though, this is a headline. This is a story coming out of Tucson, Arizona, where police body cam footage has revealed that Officer Ryan Remington shot a 61-year-old man named Richard Lee Richards while the man was in his wheelchair. The officer yells at Richard.
Can we pause there?
Yeah.
What was his name again? Richard Lee Richard?
That was the man who got shot, Richard Lee Richards.
I don't mean to victim blame here, but that's got to be a confusing name in school.
Yeah, maybe you could go by Dick Rich, Dickly Rich. I like Dickly Rich. Yeah, so pretty much what happens, Officer Remington yells at the man in the wheelchair to stop moving his wheelchair before firing 9 rounds at him, hitting him in the back and in the side. So the man in the wheelchair had been accused of stealing a toolbox from the Walmart. When an employee noticed the man was stealing the thing, he looks over to Officer Remington, who was actually off duty at the time and was in the store working as a special duty assignment in some kind of like charity gift thing, like police, people were bringing gifts for charity. They had police officers there, giving away pizza, all that kind of fun stuff. So then apparently the employee asks the man in the wheelchair to see a receipt for that toolbox that he thought he stole. The man in the wheelchair, Richards, pulls out a knife and says, "Here's your receipt," which is a great line. The guy continues. So the guy's speeding off in his wheelchair, leaving the Walmart and going into another store in the plaza. And this was at one point where the officer called for backup and tells the man, "Hey, stop moving." don't keep moving, and asks him to drop the knife. The man would not drop the knife, and that's where he got shot 9 times, just like 50 Cent. After reviewing the evidence and the body cam footage, the chief of police decided to fire the 4-year veteran officer for acting in a way that directly contradicts multiple aspects of our officer training. Yeah, you gotta wonder how much damage a guy with a knife in a wheelchair can truly do. Yeah, the man was holding a gun and deranged. That's one thing. Holding a knife in a wheelchair, pretty much everyone 2 feet around you is at risk. And then after that, yeah, a gun certainly wasn't needed. But before he died, at least he got that great line out. Here's your receipt. You want a receipt? Shing! Here's your receipt. So I think that guy wins.
I think they should name the Walmart after him.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Richard Lee,
The Dickley Rich. The Dickley Rich.
the Dickley Rich Walmart.
The Dickley Rich Walmart, exactly.
Wow. All right, Dickley Rich, shouts out to you. Headliner Asinine Cam webcam model accidentally shoots herself in the vagina with 9mm handgun during video shoot.
Right. So I can only imagine you're putting the vagina up your cooter. That's probably the selling point. You know, I can picture it now. I can see it all happening. What's the deal? What's the deal? Like, okay, so I've shot a gun before, and I don't remember if I knew there were bullets. I mean, I knew there were bullets in there because I paid the guy like $20 to shoot a gun. I had an official place, had an official gun range. Don't worry, I didn't just go into a back alley and pay a guy $20 to shoot a gun. Yeah, like, how do you not? If you think if you're gonna put a gun anywhere near your pussy, or you're bringing it on set for a film, you would like double, triple, quadruple check that there's no bullets in there and the safety is on.
Every person always makes sure when they bring a bullet or a gun to set, there's no concerns with it, and there's definitely not a loaded gun.
Of course, and it's very reminiscent of that scene from 8 Mile where the guy has the handgun and he's like showing it off to be cool and like, look at me, I'm thug, and then he puts it in his pants and he shoots himself by accident when he goes to holster the weapon to his pants. You would think if you're a webcam model and you like guns, you would have 2 guns. You'd have the I'm gonna shoot this in my backyard gun, and then the I'm gonna put this in my hoo-ha gun, and those would be 2 separate guns.
Redneck tip number 3.
Redneck tip number 307. If you're gonna be shoving a pistol in your puss, have it be a different one than you're shooting deer with. Yeah, this is so funny, and only in America, the land of the free and the home of the handgun. So I'm gonna say that this is a headline.
This is a headline from a Georgia webcam model, 27, who accidentally shot herself in a pornographic video gone horribly wrong. Now, this article does not detail exactly what was going on in the Chatterbait video, but I think we can all assume, which gun was going where. Anyway, Lauren Hunter Damon is not critically injured, but in serious conditions. Luckily enough, her roommates were in the house when she was doing it, heard the gunshot, and managed to get up there and help her as soon as it did happen. She was filming for subscribers at the time, so this was during a shoot. The injuries are not life-threatening, and there's unlikely to be criminal charges filed.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you shoot yourself, who's going to prison? You?
Never know.
Okay, Cam, I got one more for you. Headliner Asinine, man uses fake arm to get COVID vaccine.
Wow. That's incredible. That's the old Buster from, what do you call it?
Arrested Development?
What is that? Arrested Development. Yeah, I'd
fake
really
hand.
hope that.
It was a fake hand, not a fake arm.
It's a fake hand, but imagine like a fake arm that's made of full substance. I think the problem with this, and then again, when I went to Walgreens in the States to get my COVID test, they seemed to have no idea what was going on at any time. So I can see them giving vaccines, just plugging them in arms, being like, did that even go anywhere, or is that made of silicone? So I think that's my big thing. they don't seem to know what they're doing. But at the same time, if I were to grab a silicone arm and wipe it with a cloth, I'd go, this isn't skin. Something seems a little bit off. It's very, very difficult to replicate skin, especially the color of it. And it's for that reason, Cam, that I'm calling this is another Anthony Fauci lie.
Cam, this one is a headline here for you. This is a story coming out of Italy, where a 50-year-old man used a silicone arm at a vaccination clinic so he could get his vaccine passport. So the nurse, this was one of those, mass clinics where, big area where people were just coming in all day. The nurse giving the inoculation first noticed that the man's arm was a slightly different color than the rest of the skin on his body. But she's seen a lot of people. You never know someone's medical state. She didn't really think much of it. But after inspecting the man's arm further, she realized it was fake. Now, initially, the nurse felt very bad. She felt as though that this was an amputee, and she somehow forced him to putting up his other arm. She may have said, pull your right sleeve up, and the right arm was fake. And she felt bad initially. She was like, uh-oh, I'm forcing an amputee to do something incorrect. But then when she asked him one question, hey, is that a real arm? The man admitted that it was a fake arm and that he, in fact, was not an amputee. So he had kind of hid his real arm kind of against the front of his body, having this fake arm come down. So the man ended up, with his tail between his legs, and he got the vaccine. But the nurse was left feeling a little insulted that somebody would even try to do this. Someone who would try to get one over on the healthcare system so much so that they're willing to go to this length. No charges, nothing bad's gonna happen to anyone, because Italy just put in an act similar to that of Canada, where you need a vax passport to go into restaurants, gyms, movies, etc. And their vax numbers are pretty low, comparatively speaking, to that of Ontario and Canada. So, they're all just trying their best out there.
Well, that's a new one I'm gonna try.
Yeah, that's the one you're gonna try, folks. You don't want to get that flu shot. Fake arms. The fake arm business is going through the roof.
Go to the hospital more with a fake stomach.
Yeah, fake intestine. You're gonna get a fake a fake. What are you getting?
Hernia surgery.
Fake hernia. Go to like a medical supply store. Like the same store that probably sells those top up or like those kind of waist up armless dummies to practice CPR on.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can go to one of those.
That in my chest.
I'm sure you can go to one of those. They'll say, "Sir, is this a CPR dummy?"
No,
like,
I'm
no,
really
no.
big.
That's really who I am. I'm just really that cut. Because why are those CPR dummies always so like muscular?
Just great chest.
Yeah, they
great
always
chest,
very
nice
definable.
light
You're like
six-pack.
ab. You're counting them. You're like, oh, here is the pec. It's a very, you want to talk about unrealistic male figures, and body standards. Let's start with these fucking CPR dummies, because these are not this is not what a man should
You're
look
telling
like.
me the most likely guy that you're going to perform CPR on is a guy who's like 32 and just D's? No, what the CPR dummy should be is some fucking giant fat dude that you're like, can we even roll him over? Like, we're going to need more people than this.
Every CPR dummy should be a 225-pound diabetic man who weighs 3 times that because he's just dead weight. He can't move himself. He's in a diabetic coma. And here you go, 110-pound kinesiology major. He's your responsibility now.
Yeah, it starts with the mask around his chin because he's making a statement.
Yes, very, very, very much so. The classic. Oh man, I saw my favorite mask at work last night, which is my favorite mask. I've definitely said this on the show before. It's the all plastic, just kind of like plexiglass that sits in front of your mouth. I don't know if you've ever seen these. If these have made your way out, yeah, they're my absolute favorite mask, and I saw one last night and at work, and it was fantastic.
And they press. I don't even know where they press again. It's the one that just covers.
Yeah,
like,
it kind of like
right?
presses into your chin. That's kind of where the anchor is, and then it just goes up from there, and then a little bit around.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
It throws me off.
I love those.
I've yet to see. I've seen news reports about it, but I'm yet to see one in person. There's a news report that said blind or deaf people can't hear anymore because they can't read lips. Everyone should have masks that have openings on them with a little plastic slit.
Yeah, my mom.
Yet to see that one come
My mom actually made a bunch of masks like that for her students, for her singing students, so they can come in the house. And she gave one to each of the students who are doing in-person lessons. And she just sewed it herself, and with a couple bands around the thing. She put cloth around the side and then clear plastic in the middle, so she can see so you can see the mouth moving in the singing lesson.
Ah, look at that. Well,
interesting, right?
Cool stuff.
But I think
Cam, I think that's it.
That's all the time we have for the podcast this week, folks. Thanks for listening. Rate, review, like, subscribe. The show is everywhere. Stay tuned. Next week, next Monday will be episode 99. The great one episode. And then actually, Cam, this does work out perfectly because the weekend following that, Cam's 27th birthday spectacular somehow actually will be our episode 100
with absolutely zero planning.
Isn't that incredible? Almost like it was made to happen this way. And there was a week there where we had to miss it, kind of made 1 week into 2 weeks, and then we somehow did not plan for it to become. But folks, if you don't know what to expect for that particular episode, go back, and I think it's episode 5 is Cam's 25th birthday, Cam's 27th. Really, really so excited to celebrate your birthday, the engagement, the housewarming. Really, it's kind of all of these things almost put together into one.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. Is that next week?
Yeah,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, the 17th.
2
Friday.
weeks. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I gotta start cleaning this place.
Start cleaning now, baby, because we also have to find a nice area to record the show, Cam, because I haven't been there. I've not been at your house since we actually moved you in. So I'm sure there's been a lot of changes.
There's some rooms that'll work. We'll figure it out.
Oh, we've got like 6 microphones, so we need at least space for all the Aaron guys. They're gonna be hopping on there. Of course, the Waterloo friends will be hopping on there.
Should I rent some mics?
No. I've got I think I have 3. You have 1.
I have 1. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. We'll figure it out.
All
right. Well, we'll sign off for now. Never forget, the Mormons are one of the fastest growing religions in America. I'm Cam LeClaire, signing off.
Take care, folks.
Continuing tonight on Two Seas in a Pod.
96.7 on your...
Two C's in a pod, 2 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 C's in a pod, because we're 2 C's in a pod, just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's in a pod at gmail.com.